Hello guys, welcome to Sam the Chip Van. Bring you another chip shop review. This time we're paying a visit to Kim's Place in Frimley. So I've driven past here. It's been a while since I've been here, so let's go and try this out. Also don't forget to like and reel in for that subscribe button. Alright guys, let's go in. Alright, and we are back from the chippy. Now, let's talk about what I've ordered. I have ordered your standard fish and chips. As you can see right here, it doesn't look standard. That's a standard cod and that's a standard portion of chips, which came to about £8, which in a standard portion of chips is kind of like on the low average of it. Sorry, I'm taking my hat off because my hair gets a little bit weird. Anyway, back to the review. So in terms of the chippy, they don't do delivery, but they do eat in. So you can do takeaway, but they don't do delivery, and you can eat in. And honestly, the restaurant looks so good, but like Oliver's. Anyway, let's get into the fish itself. I will get into it in the summary. So the fish looks like a crunchy crust. Very flaky. As I cut into it, I can tell there is quite a bit of grease on it. Don't know why there's a chip on there. And the fish is not exactly white in colour, it's a bit yellow. There's a bit of steam coming off, but I know you can't see that. Interesting flavour of fish. It's definitely good though. It's definitely good. I'm not complaining. It doesn't taste like moist fish. There is a bit of moistness to it, but it's not that bad. Again, flaky batter, very golden in colour. I like it already. And it's quite crusty as well. The batter, and very crunchy. Yes, I've said it again, crunchy. I'm very happy with the size of the fish as well. I nearly chopped a chip up. We'll get to that in a second. So yeah, very good taste in fish. Let's talk about the chips themselves. Now the chips, very thick cut chips. It looks crunchy as well. Yeah, there is crunch to it. Very soft chips as well. Very golden in colour. The batter itself has definitely worked into the chip. It's kept it lovely and warm. And it's very crispy on some parts of the chip and very soft. Wow. Honestly, very, very good. Very, very good. And as I put my fork into it, there's a bit of grease coming out of it, but that's all right. Good quality chips, very good quality chips. All right, I'm gonna eat this off camera and then we'll get into the summary. All right, so I've had a lovely fish and chip supper. Again, thank you Kim's Place for doing me a favour. You guys are absolutely great. So I want to talk about, as I said, I had a standard fish and chips, which is a medium. Came to £8. Again, no delivery. Again, I talked about this earlier, but I'm just reminding you viewers. They don't do delivery, but they do takeaway and eat in. And honestly, like, please check it out if you do pass Frimley. It's a really good place. I fully recommend going to it. So let's get into the summary now. Let's talk about the location and parking. Now, location and parking. Parking is free on the high street, and the location is literally opposite Frimley Station. You come out of Frimley Station and Kim's Place, it's literally along the high street. You can't miss it. And the good thing about Kim's Place being a takeaway is that you can take your fish and chips onto the station platform if you need to make a return journey. So in terms of location and parking, I am gonna give it a solid if it was near a seaside, I'll give it extra points, but it's not. So I would give it at least a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, now let's talk about the overall appearance of the shop. Very bright, very welcoming, and I must say very clean, definitely. The restaurant bit itself looks very lovely. It's got a lot of photographs all over the walls, and it's got a fish tank in there, but you can't eat the fish in there, by the way, so don't try it. But it looks very, very appealing, and it combines like the takeaway look and the restaurant look, which is very, very good. So I'm going to give the overall appearance of the shop a very decent 5 out of 5. Talk about the service. Now the service itself was great. When I went in and ordered my fish and chips as normal, they was cooking it to order. Like they put it in the batter and they put it in the fryer. Chips were all ready to go. Very helpful in answering questions that like, do you do delivery? Do you do vegan on the menu? But I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, like very lovely people, service with a smile. And also they do take card and cash as well. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, I do apologise. But other than that, I honestly, very great service and very efficient as well. So I'm gonna say 5 out of 5 for it. Let's talk about the menu itself. So menu, they had a big variety of menu, and as I was going back to the previous section about the vegan options, there is no vegan options on the menu. They do have a vegetarian option, and they have a big variety of menu. Like they've got baked beans, they got your like garden and mushy peas, they've got like saveloy sausages, and obviously they've got quite a few like fish options as well. They've got fish cakes. Basically a big menu, and pricing is pretty decent, but we'll come to that in a second. So I'm going to give it another 5 out of 5. Right, now let's talk about deals, offers and discounts. Now, very, very simple, they don't do any. So for the second time on my channel, it's a massive no, as in 0 out of 5. Let's talk about the price. Now the price is, again, average for a standard portion of chips is £8 to £9. This is low, like cheap. And also, considering the size of the portion, you could go back to the beginning bit where I opened up the portion of chips. And it's very, very good for what it's worth. Very good size fish for the cost, and very good portion size for the cost. So I'm going to say a very decent 4 out of 5. Let's talk about the packaging. The packaging was you had a chip bag with fish and chips on it, but not the name of the shop, and the packaging is standard chip paper. It kept everything nice and warm. There was no leaks or holes, and honestly very good. And they didn't charge me for the bag as well. So I mean, it could be nice to have their own design on it, like their own box, but you know what? Packaging is still packaging at the end of the day. So in terms of packaging, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Right, let's talk about the food. We're going to go to the fish. Now the fish itself, it was the right size portion of fish for a standard. Crispy, flaky, crunchy batter, very golden in colour. Now the fish was not white in the centre, it was kind of like a yellowish white colour, but it still tasted very, very good. It was moist, but it wasn't as moist, and not that greasy. So in terms of the fish and the taste, it was brilliant. So I'm going to give it a very solid 4 out of 5. Now let's talk about the other side of it. Let's talk about the chips. Again, like I mentioned earlier, right size portion of chips for a standard portion. Chips were very, very chunky, very nice colour, yellowy golden. It was crispy, soft, and nice white fluffy centre in the middle, what you need in a potato. But again, there was no like skin on it, so again, that's not problematic. Everyone has their own varieties, as long as they still taste great. That's the main thing, and which they did. So I'm going to give it a very solid. You know what? Let's give it the same score. Let's give it a very solid 4 out of 5. Let's talk about the overall score of the fish and chips. Now, I know what the score is, but again, it was a very, very delicious meal. Chip size was perfect, as in the portion and the chips themselves. Fish was brilliant, crispy, crunchy batter, soft in the middle, and a very terrific feast, and it was perfect. But I'm gonna average it out, and you can guess where I'm going with this. I'm gonna give it a very solid 4.5 out of 5. Now, I would say 4 out of 5, but because it was that good, I'm gonna give it an extra 0.5 on the score. So 4.5. Right, now it's time to add up the total score for Kim's Place. Now, we took everything into account. Great place, 38.5 out of 50. It's a very good score, and I will definitely be going in there again for the dining experience, but I will not be filming that. But when I do have a social media account, I will let you guys know how my experience was. In fact, I'll let you know on my YouTube page how my experience was in the eating experience. But I just want to say a massive thank you to all of those watching and liking these videos. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And if you're new to the channel, please reel in for that subscribe button and hit it. And also don't forget to, like most fish and chips, share it with your friends as well. And I'm talking about this video and all my videos for that matter. Alright, I have been Sam the Chip Man. Thank you again for watching, and remember to feast out.